Hello everyone, welcome to InBack Presents ProConnect. Hope you all are doing well. Whenever we host ProConnect programs, we are always excited to know what our guests are going to speak about and eagerly wait for it. I think you all agree with me on that. Friends, thank you for your support. This is what motivates us to present content videos and invite eminent guests from the building automation industry to share their extensive knowledge with us. Before I go on and start with the introduction, I would like to share a happy news with you all. InBack is delighted to announce that we are all set to conduct our panel discussion on a topic which is crucial to our building automation market: driving sustainable and smart buildings in India. Do mark the date, 20th July 2021. InBack is working in the interest of user-centric building automation in India. We focus on creating awareness on the what and how of building automation by listening to the customer requirements closely. This webinar offers the opportunity to join a panel discussion with esteemed industry experts who have a deep understanding of India and who bring equal global competence to the table. Isn't that something very important for the market like India, which is unique indeed? Yes, as many of you know, it was scheduled in May, but due to rising cases of COVID in India, we decided to reschedule it, honoring the sentiments of our society. Since the situation is gradually improving, we decided to put an end to the wait. Today's ProConnect will throw light on the upcoming panel discussion and certainly on what is there for you. Let's welcome our guests. Today, we have with us the two most salient pillars of our InBack community. Mr. Vinayak Sane, an industry veteran whose widespread knowledge always acts as a guiding aid in working towards the vision and mission of InBack community. We also have with us Mr. Vijay Kumar Sanab. He is an educationist who is also a magnificent entrepreneur and a principal contributor to the cause of InBack. A heartiest welcome to you both to our show.
Thank you, Adrisha. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks InBack too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Adrisha. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. So now, Vijay sir, would you like to explain a bit about the importance of the topic of our upcoming panel discussion, that is driving sustainable and smart buildings in India? And why did InBack decide upon this topic for panel discussion?
Yeah, Adrisha, this topic is definitely highly important topic for the building control industry in India, or the building industry in India. And InBack has done a very, very right thing by choosing this topic. Now, what happens is that there are like a lot of things are talked about: smart buildings, intelligent buildings, sustainable building, green building. There are multiple names. And it has become a buzzword. But I bet that not many people know what that exactly means. Smart building is always perceived to be the building which has good air conditioning and you feel good when you are in that building. But believe me, it has much more than that. That's a very, very small part of what smart building is. I'm not here to explain what smart building is, but it is important for people to know about what the smart building is, what is the sustainable building is, and this topic definitely is going to address that issue. If you know about the topic, if you know about the building, then only you can do something about it. And this is very important across the board. Like if I am a decision maker or if I am an engineer or whatever. So unless I know what it is, then I will not understand the importance of it, and I will not be able to do a value addition or anything about it. So this topic of driving smart and sustainable buildings in India is very, very important. And the InBack, if you talk about InBack, it is Integrated Building Automation Community. And the whole charter of this community is to drive the awareness of building automation, drive the awareness of smart buildings and this topic across the segments. And definitely will, this panel discussion will help. You will hear it from the horse's mouth. Like, people will not know unless they are told by some authority in that field. And this is what precisely INBAC is trying to do. And with this eminent panelists we have chosen for this panel discussion, definitely there will be a lot of justice given to this topic of this driving smart and sustainable buildings across the country. Thank you.
Very well explained, sir. Thank you so much. Now, let's hear it from Vinayak, sir, what opportunities he is foreseeing in the webinar meet.
Adrija, as I understand, the theme of INBAC is to reach out to the community for the BMS subject matter. The panel discussion is more towards getting the top minds in the industry to share their experiences in BMS, both in design and implementation. So unless that is extremely strong, the BMS would never be able to complete it itself. People would take time to actually commission a true BMS, and that is a problem in today's industry. Most of these companies have installed BMS, but it's not truly functional because it's not truly commissioned. The approach to a specific type of infrastructure, the sustainable growth, maintenance given indirect savings, the growth of BMS to what it is today, from a proprietary type of system to an open system that we need to have it. A proper communication, proper interface, proper handshakes. This leads to something which is called as building intelligence, which is going to be a buzzword. And that is also a basis on what IoT in BMS is being derived from. So this is what I feel is what INBAC, the panel discussion was going to give an insight to the people attending the discussion. That's my take.
Wow, that was really interesting. Vijay sir, would you please let us know the benefits of attending this panel discussion?
This panel discussion attending has immense benefits. It is need of the, as I said earlier, need of the day. It is required by all the stakeholders, because this panel will tell you about what is sustainable building, what is smart building, how to drive those buildings across the country. So it will address the multiple aspects of this whole thing. And the people who could attend, those people could be also from all the stakeholders from all the fields which are connected to the buildings. So if I don't know anything about the building, anything about the topic, I will still understand, I will at least know about the topic. If I don't know much about the topic, if I know little about the topic, it will take me to the next level. It is important that you understand about the topic. Anything I want to, it's not just like, it's nice to have. It is not just like, okay, that is smart building and that is intelligent building and I just know. See, if you really want to do something about it, like if you are a decision maker or if you are a designer, if you want to, like Vinayak had mentioned about BMS, so you need a proper design to do a proper justice to the concept. And that design should also have addressed things like energy saving, convenience, carbon emissions, and that kind of thing. So it is very important for everybody to understand it. If I don't understand, I cannot even put my requirements across. This is what I need. If I don't understand it properly, I cannot design it. I may be a very good engineer. I'm not talking about the capability to design. I might be a gold medalist in engineering. But if I don't know the domain, if I don't know about the subject, I will not be able to do justice to design. And so this kind of panel discussions with the eminent people from the industry, the knowledgeable people from the industry, and if they are speaking on this, like Tendulkar talking about cricket, so we learn a lot of things from him, right? So same here, like these are the good people, and I think this panel has people from all the quadrants. Like there is a person from the industry, there's a user, consultant, OEMs, all sorts of people are there, and then definitely that will add a lot of value. And so yes, so there is a lot on the table for somebody who really wants to learn it, and put it that way. So it is beneficial for anybody who will attend this panel discussion.
Yes, very rightly said, Vijay sir. In that context, Vinayak sir, Please tell us who should join the panel discussion.
As Vijay was saying, there are a lot of people who would truly be interested in building automation systems. But there are two parts of it. There is one building automation and there is one building management. And there is somebody who we always say is an IBMS, which integrated building management systems. So people, design engineers, facility managers, architects, project managers, integrators for both BMS and IoT product designers, suppliers, OEMs in the said field, HVAC design engineers. Now, why I'm saying HVAC is because HVAC plays a major role in building automation or building management. Majority of the control and modularity and monitoring of HVAC systems give us the basic savings across the system. At the end of the day, anybody is going to ask, if after putting BMS, am I getting the right savings? So this is where it is going to play a major role. As BMS is a subject predicted by INBAC to a major subject in the college curriculum, those who want to become BMS integrators, applicators, students who intend to take the subject matter, people from the user's perspective, from the airport, data centers, ITAs, hospitals, hotels, who manage the systems, are the major people who should be attending the webinar. That's my take.
That was very helpful, sir. Thank you so much. INBAC has invited various perspectives on the panel. Our esteemed panel consists of an eminent BMS consultant, remarkable user, and prominent global thought leader. As an audience, what topics would you like to know from our panelists? Let's hear it from Vijay sir and Vinayak sir, what they have to say.
There are two things actually. Yes, I 100% agree with you, Vinayak, that the design of BMS is very, very important. And see, it is like we always face this problem. Like people want to buy BMS mainly for compliance. They just want to tell their tenant or the client that, okay, we have BMS. And in this bargain, the value which is added by BMS is totally forgotten.
True.
And then it becomes more of a dashboard or more of a indicator. Like just instead of having few meters, you are having a BMS. Like finally, it boils down to that. And people like you are a consultant, and definitely there's a lot of value which can be added. Like to derive, like we had one session I had attended in the past, and that whole session was about what value BMS can add to the facility. So that has to be taken into account when we design the BMS. And people, everything costs. So more complicated design you make, you try to have more parameters included in it might cost little more money, and the end users are not so much willing to spend that. That is number one. So the maximum value which can be derived from the BMS need to be told to the people. Why I'm saying this? Because this is a very, very basic thing of a smart building, and like for a green building, BMS is mandatory. Right, and if that is good, then your foundation is good, and then you can actually build upon that as far as the BMS design is concerned. So I think that is my take on this one. Like maybe you can add more to it.
Yeah, there is always a question, when you go into the industry and as a consultant, as you said, we might add value, but the value should come up basically if the client really wants to have something implemented into the system.
Right.
A lot of time it happens that he says, okay, I just want the HVAC mechanical plumbing system done and we will have a look at it later. Later doesn't happen because the infrastructure is not ready. Right. And there is something which is called as Google has taught many things, a lot of people. And the question always comes, is smart buildings and intelligent buildings are the sides of the same side, coins of the sides of the same coin, or two different subject matters? So what is your take on that?
Actually, if you ask me, this smart building, intelligent building, sustainable building and green building, So these are 4 terms which are used, but each one has definite meaning. Like if you talk about a smart building, it takes care of itself. If you talk about green building, that green word means that it is more sensitive towards energy. So it is net zero or something like that, where the energy is controlled. It consumes the least energy. It uses its own energy sources and things like that. Intelligent building means it has all the intelligence to run all the systems. Like you have a very, very effective BMS. We have all the systems are automated. HVAC is automated, everything. Now, I'm not saying that intelligent buildings are not energy efficient, but it is about the focus. All the buildings talk about energy, all of this, but it is about what focus you give. If you want to go for LEED certification, then you definitely would want to have a green building. And then by green building, it has to be smart, it has to be intelligent, but there is more focus given on the energy aspect of it. So that's what, as far as I know, that is the thing. And people need to be educated with all of this.
Yeah, extremely well said. As I said, if I had a coin with 4 sides, all these 4 subject matter become the 4 sides of the coin.
Right.
I also feel this is not the only thing. When we talk about green building, there are a lot of applications, right? Who say
right.
You need to have implemented or installed so you get some pointage.
Yes.
Right. But incidentally, VRF has a better points than a chiller system.
Right.
So if VRF is to install, where is the crux of ROI when the BMS is installed? So this is basically more of a conflicting thought process.
Yeah, it is a conflicting thought process. And see, chillers are universal energy guzzlers.
Yeah.
That's what they call them. They just like eat a significant percent of energy which is going into that building. VRF has brought down considerably the energy uses. But if you talk about BMS is not just that. It is obviously BMS, even if it is VRF, it is BMS is occupancy based. Like BMS can do the switching. BMS can ensure that optimum usage of even the whichever air conditioning system you have. That is one. BMS can take care of the lighting. BMS can take care of the pumps. BMS can take care of lot of utilities. And it is also important that the maintenance of this, like if BMS can take care of preventive maintenance or the adaptive maintenance, it will tell you that, okay, look, that pump is going to fail. So it has already run this much. That generator has run 1,000 hours, so you need to maintain it. So all of that. So BMS is addressing the entire 360 degrees of all the equipment, all the resources which are there in the building.
Agree.
And then that actually makes it intelligent, smart, green, whatever you call it.
But there is another aspect that has to be taken care of, is the people who manage the BMS as a system. Because these are the guys who's going to prove that the data which is created by analyzing the building, that I call as building intelligence, is actually being worked on. When you talk about preventive maintenance, if you don't look at the predictive analysis or the past history, where do the savings come in? So there is a lot of loose ends that has to be covered in the next webinar. And I think this prominent panelist would surely cover all of these.
Actually, this is where INBAC comes into the picture.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, see, data, if it is not understood or if it is not utilized, then it is nothing short of a garbage.
Yeah.
BMS generates a lot of data. And if that data is not understood, people want to use it, but they cannot understand it. So then it is of no use. And to understand the usage of or use of data or how you want to use that data, you need to understand a bit about the domain. Analytics, what analytics I want. Today, if you see, the building started initially, earlier days of my career when this building automation had just started, it was like one small sensor mounted somewhere and it was giving you temperature and things like that. From there, today we are at IoT. So like we have all this advanced system, data analytics, IoT, one system maintaining multiple buildings, multiple facilities, all single window where if I have 25 campuses, that also can be managed from the same window. So all of this evolution which has happened, and for all of this importance of the proper data usage. Now what happens is a very prominent people like airports or real big buildings, they do this, but the mid-sized or those kind of buildings, people don't understand. They don't understand the usage of BMS. It is more of a like nice to have. It is not, BMS is not a nice to have thing nowadays. BMS is a must have thing. They have to have BMS to extract a lot of value from the building, to address the environment issue, like to address the emissions, to address the energy savings and all of that. And to do that, this is very important. And for that, people need to understand, people need to know. And this is where INBAC definitely will come into the picture. These panel discussions, if people attend and try to understand this, and they will also develop more and more interest. So they will look forward to the next panel discussion, and so all of that will happen. And this is what the purpose. And being part of INBAC, I think we want this to happen. So that
another important thing is the communication and handshake between multiple protocols.
Right.
And that is where the IoT has become a synonymous thing, which is going to get add-on to the old BMS, because it generates so much data, as you said, is going to create another headache, but that headache has to be solved properly.
Right.
And that is where the building intelligence, analyzing the building intelligence is going to be a prime aspect. And I think there also INBAC should play a major role in giving the right direction to the users.
Right. And that is, I think, one of the action point of INBAC is that. And protocol standardization. You can't have multiple protocols talking. So you have try to streamline that. Try to have some standard. If you're talking about protocols, we can say, let INBAC devise a standard, like, okay, this BMS should be INBAC compliant. So then you try to guide people about which protocol to use, what to use. If it is a fire alarm system, how it should be connected. If it is a genset, how it should be connected.
A proper SOP could be a major thing that could be looked into.
Right. If there are energy meters, how they are connected. And so then it will be all on one platform. So that also is one of standardization is one of the charter.
Because today, BMS, if you go to multinational, I have seen a lot of these companies like Google, Amazon, they just not look into the utilities, but also look at conference meetings and digital signages and evacuation process, everything connected to an extent of BMS. So BMS has to give them the link and the hardware and the alarms to create all these things.
And what happens is, it is a crazy thought, Vinayak, but what I think, and always I was talking about this, that BMS was not looked after correctly because it was not mission critical.
Like, today it has become mission critical.
Yes. So the more mission critical it becomes, more attention it will get. And then it will be more...
And the pandemic has given rise to multiple applications again.
Right.
So that is going to be again a plus point, or I would say a point to be taken in designing a BMS.
Yes. The pandemic has got a lot of positives also. Other than COVID positive, it has also got a lot of positive aspects to the whole thing, like working from home, the hot desking, hot desks, and all of that. So yes, definitely. And BMS again and again will become the integral. See, it is not just remaining for HVAC
focus to one application or
the entire building and all the parameters on the building. So I think
you go ahead.
Yeah, so I think this is a lot on the table. People should get excited about it. I am excited.
And as Adrija said, we have somebody from the OEM, somebody from the business leader, somebody from integrator, and from the applications. So I think all of them together will give a large insight to the points that we have just mentioned and make it very interesting. Yes, I'm sure the people who attend would takes a lot of things that post the webinar. And surely there would be a change in the thoughts to what BMS would work, apply, and operate.
Right. So people watching this video, it's my request and it is appeal that they should spare those 20 minutes or 1 hour of time and make it a point to attend this webinar, and definitely they will not be disappointed. That I can guarantee. So thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Thanks, Adrija.
Thank you.
I'm sure like this discussion addresses a lot of questions and queries our viewers might have. A big thanks to both of you for bringing in the great insight. I know you can't wait anymore to participate and witness the content-rich panel discussion. Don't worry, we will be sharing many such information regarding our panel discussion. So stay tuned and follow us on social media platforms for latest news and updates. See you all next week. Keep enriching, keep inspiring. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.